Well, good afternoon. I'm Rick Dancer. We are live at Elkhorn Brewery, where over the weekend, rioters came in and trashed the place again. Many of the windows that you see, these ones weren't damaged, but on the front they were, and there are plexiglass in the spaces where they were, so it doesn't look as bad as it was, but it's still going to cost. Last time, wasn't it $10,000 bucks? Mm-hmm. So, you guys, this is Stephen Sheehan.
Hi.
Owner of Elkhorn Brewery, and Stephen and his son were on vacation, having a father-son vacation all the way over in Montana, and then you get a phone call.
Yeah, 1:30 2 nights ago. Chief of police called, the employees called, said the protesters, like 200 of them, had wrecked the building, broke a lot of windows again. You know, it's the third time it's happened, and it's going too far. I still don't feel like a victim. You know, even though this happened, because a victim. I've gotten out of that victim role. You know.
But you're being targeted.
I'm being targeted for sure, and I will not be defeated. I keep getting knocked down, and I'm trying my best to stand up for my community. There's nothing that I wouldn't do for this community, and I don't understand why people don't understand that. And I'm going to keep sticking my neck out for everybody in this community, no matter what race, color, sex orientation you are. I'm going to stand up for you, and Elkhorn's going to stand up for you.
So, Stephen, I just read a survey that came out that said 67% of people today in 2020 are afraid to voice their opinions more than they were in 2017. And it's because of stuff like this, because when you do, because you were bullied for signs you put up about the COVID, you've been bullied about your stand on not lawlessness, not homelessness, and people, they bully, when people don't get their way, they decide to bully people.
Right.
And it's effective.
I like what you say, bullying, because nobody's looking at it that way, because us businesses are being bullied. We're being bullied and intimidated by people that they're not Republicans or Democrats. These are anarchists tearing the threads of our communities, our businesses, and our country up. This is people that just want chaos. And until people stop living in fear, this isn't going to change. Democrats, Republicans, everybody needs to unite and stop this crap.
So it wasn't just you, it was also Whole Foods, it was also the bank, and city leaders have not really come out and said anything.
Nah, I've been meeting with city leaders every Thursday for the last 3 months, and I just knew, I knew they would call and say, hey, Steve, we're so sorry, this has been a tough time. I still yet to hear from a city leader in Eugene, kind of hurts my feelings. I'm not that thin-skinned, though. It really doesn't hurt my feelings.
But what does it say about the business community in this community?
I don't feel like anybody cares about the business community in town. That's why I feel like we have to pick ourselves back up. I've got a lot of support, don't get me wrong. There's a lot of support in this community. That's how we're able to pick ourselves back up. But I'm not the type, if you go and earn something and build it yourself. I come from nothing. I was a homeless guy living in a tent that built this by myself with my wife. We did everything on our own. You earn it and make it yourself, and you'll appreciate it a lot more. So it's going to be a heck of a lot to take this away from me. So, so many people that, things get taken away from them, just like my little kid. If I give him something and he hadn't worked for it, it doesn't mean anything to him. But if I take something away that I've made him go clean his room or something, he appreciates it a lot more.
So what would you say to the mayor? You sit at a table with her and you have conversations. You know her personally. And for you to be a business person and had this happen and nothing said, what would you like to say to her?
Well, I'd have to say, but Lucy and Sarah, I would hike with Sarah every day. I love Sarah to death. I think Lucy's the nicest person in the world. As for leaders, I think they're not good leaders. This is coming from a business perspective. I would not let them run my company, or the company would be dead and in the ground already. It'd be bankrupt. So personally, I drink a beer with them all day long. Business-wise, probably the worst leaders I've ever met.
How important is it that businesses stick together in this community right now?
Well, it's super important. I've got probably from when I was in Montana to now, I've probably had about 50 businesses call me, and that's what happened last time. I've got so much support. Look, please stand with me, stand up. If we stand up together, it's going to be so much stronger. Let's stand together. Please stop letting me be. And I need to stop doing this, but I'm a fighter. I'm gonna keep fighting. I'm gonna keep fighting for this community because I've worked hard to get where I am in this community. I didn't just have this shit given to me. I did this shit on my own with my wife. So I didn't get this stuff for free, and it's not going to be taken away from me. So,
is that what kind of irritates you? Is that you're being painted out to be some wealthy businessman, but you were on the streets just a decade ago?
I was on vacation in Montana. We couldn't afford to have a campsite, so we had to stay off-grid in free campsites. So people are like, oh, he's in vacation in Montana, staying in a free campsite and having to drive all the way back cross country. So, no, we're not rich business owners, and I hate that people write all that on the walls like rich fascists. There's nothing rich about me except for my heart and my spirit.
So what do you had to say, like in Springfield when, and I'm going to distinguish between protesters and rioters, because protesters do protests, and when it turns to a riot, it's a riot. But in Springfield, when folks came down to protest and then it didn't turn into a riot, there were people standing on the streets with guns. And people were freaking out and thinking, what am I going to do? But I guess what they don't understand as a business owner, this is your property. This is what you own, and somebody can take it away, and nobody's going to stick up for you. You know what I mean? It's like your insurance can pay some, but you're on your own.
Right. I see all these big corporations and banks that go out of business. These CEOs don't care. They'll get another job. They didn't work their butts off. Yeah, they went to college and they earned a degree, and they have worked hard. Don't get me wrong. But this is something that's been blood, sweat, and tears from a little bitty. I cut 23 cords of wood a month in no time with a $200 truck and a $75 chainsaw. And then I had a food cart with my wife, and then we opened this business. We came from nothing and did this all on our own. So for people to say that I'm some rich dude that just moved to town, no, I'm some poor dude with a big heart and a big spirit that will not be put down or get let down.
So do you think this is I was saying on there the other day that I think people are losing the message. The message is getting lost in the violence.
Absolutely, because everybody's known my story. Like we've tried to sit down and work with city leaders. We've tried to sit down and work with the community. Way before this, I thought we were making so much progress. They put a tax out, for all businesses that we were going to be more secure and get a handle on things. We were making some tremendous progress, and then this all happens and the violence starts, and all the progress that has been made, I feel it's just been rolled back.
I was listening to the song The Sound of Silence the other day, and I thought that's part of the problem, is there's a hush, that people are being silent and they feel they're scared to speak out, and then they see what happens to people like you. And I mean, I don't think Whole Foods or them have said anything, but you were definitely targeted, and that's what scares them. How do you encourage people to just, go, it's not going to get any better if you just sit home and hide?
Well, look at them. Look at all these rioters and protesters. You think they're being silent and sitting? They're causing a lot of violence and wreaking havoc, but they're big, loud voices, and there's not a lot of them. We're a big whole business community, and there's not one of us standing up. I've had 50 calls. It is being super loud on the phone, not in public, and I know nobody wants to feel what I'm feeling, having to fix their windows. The material stuff, I can replace that all day long. It's fixing our community. I've done so much bad in my life. Now it's time for me to do good in my life, and I'm going to keep hammering at this.
So not to be rude to people that are saying I'm sorry, but does sorry help?
So you don't have to tell me you're sorry.
We need action, though.
I need action. I understand that. It happened. You don't have to tell me you're sorry. Do something. Help your community. Stand up. Just be a voice. Come stand with me at Elkhorn and say, I support Elkhorn. People are even scared to say they support Elkhorn now,
And you've got 60 police officers coming in here tonight, right? A bunch.
Well, in waves, because we can only have groups of 8. So
but you're feeding people.
I'm feeding a lot of officers, and I am not ashamed to say that I am not ashamed to say that I support the Eugene Police Department. I've been a victim all my life because I was so bad as a kid, and I hated the police. And then once I pull myself out of the clutches of addiction with help of family and friends and having some self-worth, I'm like, whoa, the police aren't my enemy. They're trying to help me. And now I have a better relationship with the police that I've had all in my entire life. And now I want to do all I can to help them because I wreaked a lot of havoc with them all my young life.
Okay, so Stephen, you have an interview on KEZI, and I don't want you to be late,
right.
So let's head that way. But you're doing a GoFundMe, right?
We are going to do a GoFundMe, yes.
Okay, so Stephen will have a GoFundMe up soon. We're cutting to the other side of the building here.
I'll be right with you.
But I don't want him to be late for his interview with KEZI because I took his time. All right, we got 2 minutes, Stephen. So anyway, you guys, that's Stephen Sheehan, owner of Elkhorn Brewery. His business was one of 3 that I know of that was trashed over the weekend by rioters. And he is not happy. And he's getting ready to go on KEZI, my old stomping grounds, for an interview. And I said, can I come over and do something for free for you? Most of the windows have had plexiglass put in that were damaged. He says it's probably still going to be around $10,000. He doesn't know for sure. And Stephen is dressed like that because he just came back. He was called by the Eugene police on a vacation in Montana, Glacier National Park, with his little boy, and had to return to take care of, what rioters did to his property. So he's asking for support from the mayor, comment from the mayor, some kind of comments from city councilors, some kind of support that says Eugene is not about this and we're not going to put up with it anymore. And so far there's a hush that's fallen over the land. And in fact, I'd heard that some of our leaders are actually supporting what's going on in Portland. So what some are saying is, doesn't that just tell the people who want to riot that you have plenty of time and space here to do what you need to do, what you want to do? Yeah, I am all for protesting, 100%. But when it comes to vandalism and rioting and destroying people's property like this, I call bullshit. That is bullshit. You don't get to do that, or you pay to clean it up. And people can't say that we don't support the cause, that Black Lives Matter or that Black unity matters. It does. But when the things get like this, and then the message gets lost, and it's gone for me. So anyway, that would be me hundreds of years ago. A reporter doing my job. And now I'm out here with this. This is so much more fun. Anyway, share this interview on your page. Let other people know. And there'll obviously be something on KEZI on the news today live, and then probably something on the 11 o'clock if you want to see what they're doing. He pretty much said everything right there. Yes, you are right. Protesters are not rioters. When vandalism starts and people start bullying, I'm so freaking tired of the bullying that goes on. And if Stephen and other people like myself and others want to have a different opinion on something, it's none of your damn business. And that's what this community is supposed to be about. It's supposed to be about diversity of thought, diversity of skin color, diversity of sexual orientation. And we're supposed to be a tolerant community, not just tolerant of those who agree with us. And this is definitely someone who's being targeted. And that is not Eugene. That is not it is, but it shouldn't be. And that is not the way we do things in this town. So anyway, yes, this is a free show. It's mine. I'm doing it for Stephen, so I can say what I want. I don't have to be quiet about anything. And I think people need to start thinking about this. And what do we want our town to look like? What do we want this to be like? What is our standard in Eugene, Oregon? Do we have a standard? I'm just going to show you some of this because I think it's kind of fun.
I see our windows are double pane, so we have one pane left. So everything has to be replaced. It's temporary right now, so when that gets fixed, we'll all be back. We'll be back to normal. But this is the third time. It's getting old. I feel like the business community in this town is suffering and not being protected. We're letting, not Democrats or Republicans, we're letting rioters and anarchists take over the threads of our communities, our cities, our whole nation. So, I think we need to stand up and stop having all the fear that we're having, and people need to stand up together as one, Democrats, Republicans, and say, this is enough. Stop breaking stuff. Stop tearing up businesses. These are all kind of employees that have been here, ties to the community. Like, they're all getting their livelihoods are at stake too. We have a really diverse staff here, and to have it all torn away with people just destroying everything. I wish some of these people that are tearing up stuff would come work with my employees. Come work with me for 1 week. Let's sit down and talk instead of tearing stuff up every time. 3 times this has happened, and normally I walk the line. I try to be I let go of Eugene Wake Up. No more. I'm no more walking the line. I'm fed up. Stop breaking my stuff. We're going to start standing up. I'm tired of it.
All right, well, thank you, Steve. We'll have another interview after this hit, and we'll have more from Steve tonight on KEZI 9 News at 6. Reporting live in Eugene, Connor McCarthy, KEZI 9 News.
Stephen, thanks, buddy. See you later. So, Stephen Sheehan. And that's what I love about doing my thing. I can do what I need to do, and I can say what I want to say. And Stephen is a good guy. He's a good friend. He and his wife have worked really hard. He's a homeless dude who made a better life. And then this is how people treat him. This is how the community treats him. So maybe it's time we stand up and do something instead of just allowing this to take over our community. And maybe our leaders should stop being sound of silence and start doing something and start saying something. Why don't you stick up for your businesses? Why don't you stick up for Whole Foods? Why don't you stick up for the bank that was hit? Why don't you stick up for Elkhorn? Why don't you stick up for people who are suffering like that? Because you're afraid. You're afraid that you're going to take the heat politically. Shame on you. I'm Rick Dancer. I'm done. And I'm not being quiet at all, because I'm tired of this. And thank God I live in Springfield. For years that this is a place that's tolerant of those who agree with it. And guess what? We don't all agree with you. When 67% of the people in the country are polled, and from 2017 to 2020, now only 67% of them feel like they can't say what they really feel because of the bullying. That's bullshit. That is total, utter bullshit. So, I encourage all of you to speak up and be kind, because I don't think this is unkind to speak your mind. But it is time for people to all have a voice in Eugene, Oregon. And in Oregon as well. We need to be speaking up. Where's the governor saying stuff about what's going on in downtown Portland? And this too. This isn't about this for a lot. Nobody's understood. I don't think this is about BLM or BU anymore. I think this is a bunch of radical people who are just out and angry and trying to destroy. And I'm interested in helping to bring equality to people that are black and that of everybody. But I am not willing to give equality to bullies. So if you want to bully, I'm out of here. I'm Rick Dancer. This is as real as it gets. This is Get Real. And go ahead, naysayers, I know, make fun of me, say what you want to say. I really don't give a shit. All right, have a great night. We'll talk to you later. I will be back tomorrow with who knows what. All right, have a great day.